We got another wall too if y'all really like the walls. Come on in, folks. Oh, let's get some people up here. I don't bite, I promise. I don't know about your tour mates though, so keep your eyes peeled, you know. If any of y'all do bite, please don't. Alrighty, Caboose, you can hear me back there, right?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Alrighty, everybody, so welcome to my office. As you can see, I've got some beautiful flat screen formations to my left and right. Naturally occurring, of course, they're pretty ahead of their time if you ask me. Jokes aside though, we're going to watch a little movie on it telling us about the history of Ruby Falls. It's a 4-minute watch, but it took our production team 6 months to make, so if y'all don't like it, we're watching it again! Yay! I'm messing with y'all, but y'all seem a little too excited about that. But before we do that, folks, I got to go over the important stuff. Yeah, these are the rules that if you hear nothing else I say today, it has to be these things that you hear. First, folks, if you haven't figured it out, you're 5'3" and up, you're playing cave limbo at least once a day, because there's a rock for everyone down here, and boy, I hope you don't find it, okay? So as we go through the cavern, just make sure to watch your head and step, because that floor can get slippery. You'll know the floor is slippery if you fall, so please don't do that either. There will be handrails available for your safety where there's stairwells, ramps, or where that floor just has a tendency to get slick. So if you see a handrail, just make sure to use it, folks. It's for your safety. As we head in, we're also going to have some narrow passages, nothing too terrible. If you've been to Rock City, it doesn't get any worse than what Rock City has. In fact, Rock City gets narrower than we are. So, if you've already been through that, I promise you're good. With that in mind, going in, we're going to see a lot of cool formations. That's one reason why we're here. I'm asking us, please, please, please do not touch the formations. They grow at a rate of half a square inch per century. The oils in our hands can not only stop that growth, it can deteriorate some of that growth. People have left these formations for us today to enjoy. We want to leave them for other people to enjoy, right, folks? Yeah. So please do not touch them. On our way in, we're also going to see some other groups on their way out for today. I want to make 2 promises about them. 1, they don't live down here. 2, they did not have that much facial hair when they first came down here, folks. I'm just kidding about the last part. But on the way in, we don't have right-of-way, which means basically they've been down here longer, so we're going to let them leave sooner because they've got to use the bathroom more than us, folks. We don't want to stop them. So when we see an outbound group, we're typically going to stop, get on our left-hand side, and let them pass through. We're just going to make flat against that wall so they have a nice path to go through. And when we head out, we'll have that right away. The inbound groups will do the same thing for us. So it's just kind of a matter of courtesy for other groups and just generally make sure everybody has their time to go through and has that right away. So don't worry, folks. It might seem tough in the moment. So if any of you all from Atlanta or have family from that area, it's going to feel just like heading in there because it's going to be slow, but we'll make it. On the way out, it'll be easy. It'll be a breeze. But folks, with that in mind, we're going to be doing our standard walking tour today, which means not all the formations we're seeing today are stops on the tour. It's kind of like a nice pace through the cavern with some designated stops where we're going to be having presentations about some of the things we'll be hearing, media, be it video or audio, about some of the things we'll be seeing as well. So I ask that we only stop at those formations for a couple of reasons. First, folks, raise your hand if you like waiting. That's what I thought. Raise your hand if you like getting your money's worth. Not everyone raised their hand, that's concerning. But folks, that in mind, so first, when we head to those stops, we want to make sure we just again, don't stop unless we're at those places. It feels like I'm rushing you, but I promise I'm not trying to, because those stops are actually the easiest places to have those groups I told you about pass us. In fact, we'll typically have about 1 group passing us per stop. We want to make sure we meet them there because I'm not going to lie, folks, there are parts of the cavern where there's barely enough space for 1 person to be there. I do not want you to be chest to chest with a person you do not know, 260 feet under the ground in the dark before you even had lunch. It's a little awkward, folks. We call it a Tennessee belly rub. And again, I hope you don't get one today, okay? So again, if it feels like I'm rushing you, I promise that's not what I'm trying to do. And not to mention, the sooner we make it to the stops, the more we have time to actually talk about what we're seeing there. I talk about this stuff in my free time. It's not just a job to me. I genuinely enjoy talking about this kind of stuff. So the sooner we make it, the more I get to tell y'all. I'm not lying when I tell y'all that I talked about caves for 2 hours on my first date with my sweetheart. We're still together. If that doesn't prove I can make this interesting, I don't know what will. So with that in mind, sooner we get there, more for our money's worth. So again, one reason a lot of people stop is for photography. If I had my camera on me, I'd be taking pictures all the dang time. That says something, because I work here. My advice is to use video mode, because A, you get a video of the tour, you don't have to pay for another ticket. B, if you use video mode and take pictures while the video is rolling, you're going to have a higher frame rate on those pictures, which basically means the pictures will turn out better while you're moving, meaning they won't have much of a blur to them if they were normally, if any blur at that point. So that's my recommendation for pictures. Don't worry if you don't get pictures on the way in, you can get them on the way out, because we'll be going down mostly the same routes as we head in and out. There are a couple differences, but if you don't get on the way in, I promise you're almost always going to have that second chance. With that in mind as well, folks, there are some formations we are saving for on our way out. There are outbound formations, and you'll know you're seeing an outbound formation if the sign for it is facing away from you. So if you see an outbound formation, no you didn't. There's always another rock to look at, okay, folks? It's like dessert. You save it for after dinner, okay? All right. With that in mind, folks, I am going to say I'm just going to limit my talking about the cavern to our designated stops, because I know if I try and walk and talk, not everyone's going to be able to hear me, especially towards the back of the line, because cave acoustics are weird, folks. And with that in mind, Monty Worth is, again, important to me. I want to make sure you all get the same experience today, so I'm just going to try and limit. But if you do hear me, but you don't understand me, I promise you're not missing out on the tour. I'm probably just saying stuff like watch your head, step. I'm not be making small talk with people in the front. We cool with all that, folks?
Yeah.
All right, here's that movie. Hope you enjoy.
As you move through the cave, please refrain from the use of gum